Hello, welcome to the home of the Ghost Owl, continuing our Warhammer the Old World Bretonnia faction focus. One of the first of the two factions that were released. So far we've looked at the general army and faction rules, and we've looked at the characters, but the characters have mounts, so let's take a look at the different mounts that are available and what they can or cannot do. So, first up then is the Bretonnian Warhorse. Pretty average stats. It comes up as troop type heavy cavalry, base size 30 by 60. Equipment wise, comes with its iron shod hooves, which count as a hand weapon, and it does come with barding. And it can be used by a duke, a baron, a paladin, a prophetess, and a damsel. Special rules now. Bretonnian mounts do have some great special rules. Countercharge. Excellent rule. When charged in its front arc, the unit may declare a countercharge as a charge reaction. Most Bretonnian units have lances. Lances need to be can only be used on the charge. Lances are really important, so having countercharge is really important. So yeah, a great rule. First charge. If this is the unit's first charge of the game, the target unit becomes disrupted until the end of the combat phase. Also excellent. Swift stride, increase maximum possible charge range by 3 inches, and when making charge, flee, or pursuit rolls, apply d6 modifier to the result. And then you've got the Bretonnian specific rule, finest war horses, which means they re-roll ones when doing charge, flee, or pursuit rolls. This makes Bretonnian cavalry absolutely excellent, as it should be. It's a key focus of the army, and cavalry overall on the table. Heavy cavalry should be a dangerous unit. Absolutely believe that. You when there's a heavy cavalry unit around, you should be worried about where they're going and what they're going to do. They should hurt. So overall, it's a solid, cheap mount choice. It allows a character to join nearly all of the mounted units in Bretonnia, assuming they have the right vows, with the exception of Pegasus Knights. And it comes with solid special rules for a mounted character. Solid special rules. With counter charge, first charge, and giving you those extra options of making sure you make your charge, your pursuit, and so on. So yeah, a really, really good mount, and a good mount overall, even for the units as well as the characters. Next up is the basic warhorse. This is light cavalry, 25 by 50 mil, so slightly different base size. And it can be used by a prophetess, a damsel, and the sergeant at arms. It does come with its iron shod hooves, but you don't get the barding. So special rules. It's fast cavalry and it's swift stride. So really not even close to the normal barded Bretonnian warhorse there. But the fast cavalry can make it nice for your if you've got a caster on it and you're trying to get some mobility. The swift stride as well. It's the only choice for the sergeant at arms, but not one I would choose for a prophetess or a damsel. I prefer the barded option, to be honest. I can't see any reason why I'd want to take this instead of the barded option for a damsel or prophetess. I just can't see why you would. And then the sergeant at arms, you're only going to mount him if you're going to put him in a unit of yeomen, for example. Right, the barded Pegasus got good movement initiative, it's got average stats, does count as monstrous cavalry, and it's got a base size of 40 by 60. Iron shod hooves and barding, and it can be used by a duke, a baron, or a paladin. Special rules. Countercharge, excellent. First charge, excellent. Swift stride, excellent. And fly 10. So this is mobile, but with all those things you get from having countercharge and first charge. However, it's double the points cost of a barded warhorse, right? And for that double point cost, you get -1 movement. So you get -1 to your basic movement. So if you can't fly, that's a negative. But you do get +1 strength, you get +1 initiative, and +1 attack, which is quite important because this is going to be a mobile unit. They're often going to be not waiting to hit a flank of a unit already engaged. They need to dish the damage when they go there. Plus the cost means they're going to be quite low on model count. So getting those extra attacks, really important. Getting that higher initiative to attack first, really important. Getting the +1 strength, meaning they can actually do the damage. So for these guys, really, really quite important. So you can see the double the points cost. You can see why you have it, but the stats do help. So it's a good option for a melee-focused, hard-hitting character. Join a unit of Pegasus Knights, so that's going to be your Baron. It can't be a Duke, which would allow for a highly mobile, well-armoured threat on the battlefield, allowing you the option to strike where needed. And that's the key thing, strike where needed. Maybe you're going after a skirmish unit. Maybe you're going into a unit of dangerous crossbowmen, for example. Or maybe you're trying to get a flank or a rear charge on something. So the main vulnerability to these guys, as always, is going to be missile fire and magic. Right, so that's always going to be your issue with flying units. They're going to be flying close to enemy missile units, but they are coming in with heavy armor. You've got shield. It's barded, right? So you still got a 3+ armor save. But yeah, magic and missile fire. That's where the vulnerability is really going to be. So Royal Pegasus then. So the Royal Pegasus has got good movement, strength, toughness, and different attacks. Monstrous cavalry. It comes on a 50x50 base. Ironshod, Hooves, and Barding. And it can be used by a Duke, a Baron, a Paladin, and a Prophetess. So, what do you get different? So, it's Counter Charge, First Charge, Swift Stride, and Fly 10. Same as a normal Pegasus. Now, in the Royal Pegasus, you also get Armor Bane 1, and you get Stomp Attacks 2. You get double the points cost of a Barded Pegasus. Right, so a Barded Pegasus is double the points cost of a Bretonnian Warhorse, and a Royal Pegasus is double that of a Barded Pegasus. So this isn't a cheap mount. Comes with an odd base size as well, so it doesn't fit nicely with Pegasus Knights, so that's annoying. For the extra points, you gain +1 movement, so the movement is up. You gain +1 strength, +1 toughness, +1 wound, +1 hit, +1 attack, as well as the Armor Bane and the Stomp Attacks. So when you look at it and go double the points cost, and you're getting all those extra stat lines, the Armor Bane, the Stomp Attack, you can see why it's going there. I really don't know why they went with the really odd base size. That's a little bit annoying. Personally, I would consider this mount for a Prophetess in a unit of Pegasus Knights. But for a Duke or a Baron, I'd either stick with the cheaper Barded Pegasus or go the extra hog with the Hippogriff. So, yeah, I could really only see myself using this for a Prophetess, to be honest. And even then, you go, do you really want that extra stat line? Because all that extra stat line is for combat, which is not really what I want to do with my Prophetess. So, yeah, that's really where I am with this Royal Pegasus, yeah. Go with I prefer the basic Barded Pegasus for the cheaper points. Unicorn then. So Unicorn, stats, good movement, initiative, got low attacks though. Troop type is Monstrous Cavalry. So you've got to think about what units you can join with that, which is pretty much none, right? Because can't fly, so you can't join a unit of Pegasus Knights. And Monstrous Cavalry is not heavy cavalry. So, base size 40x60. Equipment, Hooves and Horn, counts as a hand weapon. And it can be used by a Prophetess and a Damsel. So you get Counter Charge, Swift Stride. You get Armor Bane and Stomp Attack, same as your Royal Pegasus. No First Charge, you'll notice on this one. You get Armoured Hide, though, 1. You do get magical attacks. You do get Beguiling Aura. So enemy models must take a leadership test before attacking this model. And if failed, only 6s will hit. Only usable by a Prophetess and a Damsel, and again, it's got an odd base size, doesn't fit nicely with any other mounted units. Of course, it also is Monstrous Cavalry. So it looks great if you're going for a non-flying mount, and, to be honest, I prefer to stick with a Bretonnian Warhorse. Keep it cheap. You've got Shield of the Lady, which means if you're going on a normal warhorse, you're going in a unit of knights, Shield of the Lady means she can still do everything you can and retire from the front rank. Still cast spells, still get all the benefits of it. And if you're going to do that, it's preventing melee attacks, so you're not going to get any benefit from the Unicorn special rules, even if you could join the unit. So, yeah, overall, a sweet-looking miniature. You can see it on the right-hand side there. Really nice-looking miniature. Can't see myself using it that often unless I was going to use Lady Elise Ducard as a special character, and you have to take that mount. Hippogriff. Oh, that's a classic one. Lou and Leon Kerr there. So the Hippogriff. Stats, good movement, fly, weapon skill, strength, wounds, initiative, attacks. It's a monstrous creature. It's got a base size of 50 by 50. Wicked Claws, strength 5, AP -2. You've got Serrated Maw, which is strength 5 with no AP. You've got Armor Bane 2, multiple wounds 2, and a Gryphonic Pelt, which is heavy armor 5+. May have barding, and it can be used by Duke or a Baron. So, close order, fly 9, large target, stomp attacks D3, swift stride, terror, and counter charge, which is good. So, only usable by a Duke or a Baron. It's good, but it's an expensive mount, right? So, you really want it for a fully equipped melee lord. The main downside is as a monstrous creature, you're not joining any Bretonnian mounted units. So, for me, for a monstrous creature, it's got a small base size, right? 50 by 50. For me, this is for a Duke who has the Grail Vow, who's going on his own, who's fully tooled up, maybe going after a monster, for example, taking the Horn of Fredemund, stopping them flying, taking a Virtue Given Monster Slayer, maybe going after enemy monsters, that sort of thing. That's what I could see when I'm going to take a Hippogriff. And certainly when I've been, say, playing with my Duke, he's been on a Hippogriff doing exactly that, running around as a lone character, going down hunting very specific targets with very specific builds of magic items, depending what I want him to do. And I'd always take barding on this mount. There's no reason why I wouldn't want to do that. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the Bretonnian mounts. Next up is going to be those core troops, the basic line troops of a Bretonnian army. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, taking a look at the different Bretonnian mounts, what they do, and how they work. If you did enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down, and let me know why in the comments down below. It really does help if you tell me why you didn't like the video. And as always, if you want to see more of this content, please hit that subscribe button. It's a big, big deal. It's free. Please do so. You've been watching The Ghost Owl. Tune back in as we take a look at the core troops of Bretonnia.